Supermechagodzilla versus Mecha-King Ghidorah. Head-to-head Kaiju Showdown. Oh yes, it's the battle of the Super Mechas, or rather Super Mecha Kaiju. So you can bet that this is a fight of epic proportions and is destined to go the distance. But do note one thing, the Mechagodzilla in this fight is the one from the Heisei series of films, the Supermechagodzilla, also known as Mechagodzilla II. With that out of the way, are you ready to witness this epic mecha showdown? Well, then let's just get them straight, shall we? So both monsters are warmed up and ready, each of them having their own arsenal of defense and attack skills, but each one is trying to save its ultimate moves for the final round. But that's typical in any fight. So let's jump into the details now. First up, let's check out their size stats. Now, the most powerful incarnation of the Mecha G was a massive kaiju standing at a towering 120 meters, as well as being as long as its height. Moreover, with its Garuda upgrade, the Super Mecha G weighs in at an astounding 150,482 metric tons. Man, that's one big monster. But then let's find out what the MKG, Mecha-King Ghidorah, has to offer. So, first things first, the cyborg super monster stands at a massive 150 meters. Although, even if he's taller than the Mecha G, he's way more lighter, weighing only about 80,000 metric tons. Now that's definitely a pretty insane figure, but in kaiju terms, it's pretty average. So, who takes the size round? Well, I'd say that the size round is a tie, because the Mecha Ghidorah has a reach advantage, being a tad bit taller. But then Mecha G is heavier, so he's not one who's going to flinch easily. Moving on to the next round, let's compare each of their unique abilities. Starting again with Mecha G. For abilities, it's got Mega Buster, Laser Cannon, Shock Anchor, G Crusher, Paralyzer Missiles, Tranquilizer Missiles, Plasma Grenade, Hover Attack, Diamond Coating, and High Power Maser Beam Cannon. As for MKG, he has quite a fancy arsenal too. These include the likes of capture devices and machine hand, anti-gravity flight, triple laser beam, shockwave, time warp. It has gravity laser cannon that can fire gravity beams, and invincibility. Now, on paper, MKG has definitely got the advantage in terms of abilities. I mean, he has way more options to choose from, some of which are pretty lethal too. But then it all depends on how well each monster uses their weapons to the max. And Mecha G is a master of that art. However, the abilities round definitely goes to the mechanized Monster Zero. Let's now move on to the next round, which is based on how vulnerable each kaiju is. That is, weaknesses. So our Super Mechagodzilla, back from 1993, is definitely one of the most powerful foes that the Big G has ever faced. Yet it still does come with a few weaknesses, and they are external short-circuiting, poor in hand-to-hand combat, and vulnerable to intense heat. Pretty significant ones if you ask me. But then let's see how significant they are in comparison to MKG. So, MKG's weaknesses are large and slow moving, water combat, and weak in close range combat. Okay, you can pretty much work deductions in your head, and the most probable outcome of this round too is a draw, like the first. Both have their own weaknesses, and both are vulnerable if the opponent monster exploits their flaws. So, what's the final outcome? Well, to sum it all up on paper, it's definitely a hard-earned win by the Mecha-King Ghidorah. But then what's on paper are just stats on display. In real combat situations, they hardly matter. I mean, the durability of MKG is pretty flimsy, especially against the Mega Busters of the Mecha G, which is one hell of a weapon. Also, let's not forget that Supermechagodzilla was built by salvaging the parts and technology of the MKG, which means that it was an improved and even more powerful monstrosity altogether. Apart from that, with the Garuda upgrade, Mecha G's combat abilities become almost double than his usual self. I mean, it's called Super Mecha Godzilla for a reason. Also, both these mecha monsters face the Heisei Godzilla, who is by far one of the most powerful incarnations of the Big G, and guess what? Mecha G put up a much better fight, paralyzing and even almost killing Papa Goji in the process. So yeah, even facts suggest that Mechagodzilla is indeed the more powerful monster here. And so, going to the official results for this matchup, Mechagodzilla wins in a nitty-gritty fight, although he soon flies away, slowly disappearing in the skies, probably to prepare for his rematch with the Big G in 2021. So that brings us to the end of this video. Do you agree with our results? Who takes the win for you? Let us know down in the comments section below. Also, thanks for watching. We'll see you around next time with more amazing videos. So stay tuned and don't forget to subscribe and smash that bell icon too. Cheers for the new year. In advance, of course.